Welcome, everyone.
What's good, Blite family?
Hi.
Welcome to Blite Media's new location.
Finally got it adjusted, so this is what you'll be seeing from now on in.
Anything you want to tell the people?
How you guys doing today?
Don't mind Liz, she's still getting used to it.
She's all right,
She's
guys.
adjusting now.
But don't worry, you'll be seeing her in the live, Ian in the live, and myself shortly. Or it's going to be a video cut from our live.
Yep, and it'll just transition in.
Or it's just a video we just decided to record, put out for y'all.
Exactly.
Yes.
But either way, this is the intro you guys will be seeing. So hey, we'll see y'all in the video.
Enjoy the video, y'all.
Yep.
So, I guess it's time to get the shit scared out of us again.
Yep.
Here we go. The Russian.
Have you ever heard of the Russian?
I've never heard of this.
Oh, this is going to terrify you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be up all night and shit, aren't I?
This is going to keep you up.
Here we go.
Might as well start drinking, man.
Here we go.
Let's do
Calm
it.
you down a little bit.
What is the Russian sleep experiment? Bam. Oh yeah, this is gonna be some shit.
These beautiful monsters.
Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant.
15 days.
They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they had only microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water and a toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained
Pause it.
having been promised falsely.
Ian, can you turn this light down
I can probably
and see if we can? I don't know if the light in the camera will make it too dark, but see if we can make this a little bit more. She's right. Can we make this more creepy? Because it would be perfect.
Aw, damn. I think I'm a little too high for this. I get creeped out easily. And Ian does too, I guess. Ah, okay.
Is that too? Can I even see you?
Hang on, I can't see yet because it hasn't caught up
Yeah,
on
it
that
hasn't caught
screen
up
yet. Because we can see our screens. I just don't know if the camera can see us yet. Because you haven't even gotten up from
Yeah.
that screen yet.
Is it too dark?
Not yet.
Not yet. Hasn't caught up yet.
I was gonna say something.
I think it's like 15, 20
I'm not
seconds.
gonna say it. I'm so tempted to say it.
I'm not that dark, Liz.
I see you.
Yep, now you're getting up from the chair.
Okay, hold up. Hold on, guys. We're trying to make it
Oh
creepy.
my god. We can see. Wait,
Sunshine says
we
they can see us.
you.
Sunshine says they can see us.
They can see
They
us?
can see us. So come
All
sit
right.
down.
Okay.
One of them is gonna be like, "Where'd Ian go?" I already fucking know. One of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's definitely more creepy. Okay,
One
you know
of
what?
you-
This is a perfect setting for the for this.
I'm white.
I already
Look at
know.
me.
Someone's gonna be like, "Where the frick is Ian at?" I already know it. Yo, this is gonna. Yo, if I hear something creak, I'm out, bro. I'm playing.
All right,
All
yeah,
right.
hit that play button. Let's get it going.
We gotta test this. I gotta make sure y'all can see me, cause I already know someone's gonna be like. Damn, how long it take to catch up on a fucking stream?
But you stood there off for a minute too.
Yeah.
You're in control of the computer. You can also click over to OBS to see how it looks. But
Ah, true.
I couldn't do that from my current seat. So I.
Oh, they can see me.
But there you are.
Yeah, y'all can see. Okay, good. All right. My man disappeared. I called it.
You want to wear this? That way you don't.
Go ahead, Ian. Play this. Let's go.
All right, here we go. We back here.
This is gonna be good.
My man
They
disappeared.
My man all right, here we go. Let's scoot over some. I'm being. You're throwing me up.
Oh, okay. I'm scooting.
Okay, there we go.
I scooted.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Running water and a toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners, deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having been promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past. And the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were, and they started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other, and they began alternately whispering to the microphones and the one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity with them. At first, the researchers suspected this was an effect of the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behaviour was how the other captives reacted to it. Or, rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones, until the second of the captives started to scream. The 2 non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped, as did the whispering to the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive, and in fact it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives that now they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice respond, "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately, voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened and soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them were in life. The food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chests stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor.
Damn.
Precisely how
What
much of the
the
water
fuck?
was on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were indeed inflicted by hand, not with teeth as the researchers initially thought. A closer examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were in fact self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, and while the heart, lungs and diaphragm remained in place, the skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the ribcage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact, as if they had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food, and it quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was in fact their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days.
Wow.
Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternately begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on, lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the soldiers died from having his throat ripped out, and another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives, if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of a morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one doctor. His heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out, to the point there was more air in his vascular system than blood.
What the hell is this?
World of the French Dispatch.
Bit of sports, bit of crime, bit of politics.
The details. The details.
Even after
Wow.
it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the words more, over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The 2, with intact vocal cords, continuously begged for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had, and in the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative that they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, and even through the weight of a 200-pound soldier holding that wrist as well. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy of the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had tripled the normal level of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had broken 9 bones in his struggle to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force his own muscles had exerted on them. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed, he was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested, reluctantly, they try the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically impossible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When the surgery ended, the subject...
Oh, that was so creepy.
What the fuck?
Oh, God.
attempting to talk
Oh.
while struggling. Assuming this must be something of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anaesthetic as well. And although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation, the surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralysed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given: I must remain awake. All 3 subjects' restraints were reinforced and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. The commanding officer, an ex-KGB, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all 3 stopped struggling the moment it let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obvious that at this point all 3 were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all of his might. First left, then right, then left again for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes they flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he was repeatedly suffering brain death before returning to normal.
What
As
the
they focused on him
fuck?
swelling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut at the same moment his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed to that of deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time as his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes.
Shit.
Then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to a bed, as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. "I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you," he screamed at the man strapped to the table. "What are you?" he demanded. "I must know." The subject just smiled. "Have you forgotten so easily?" the subject asked. "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread." The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out, "So nearly free." That is the creepypasta of the Russian sleep experiment. It became widely known online and in fact went viral. A lot of people have asked me to do creepypastas in the past, so I thought I would bring you a long narrated video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoy doing audiobooks or narration, so if you enjoy this kind of stuff, please do let me know down below in the comments section. As always, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like and a share, because that really helps me out and others may really enjoy it as well. As always, I've been Mr. H, and I will catch you in the next video.
Ew.
They completely destroyed the brain chemistry of the people.
Exactly.
They did. They completely destroyed it.
Yeah, and you know what? Could it be a possibility that that gas was making, like, they couldn't feel anything?
Well, the whole thing about the gas is to keep them awake. It was just the stimulant to stay awake.
Yeah, but then
After being awake for so long, they couldn't feel nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Fuck that.
And they knew that if they didn't get any more gas, they were gonna die.
Should we
They
leave the
just
light on?
knew that. Like,
Now, if the commander was gonna lock you in that room, what would you have done?
Oh, you ain't locking me in shit.
Now you would have pulled the weapon and blown it.
Yeah, you ain't locking me in shit. Everyone, that's the video for today. Like, comment, subscribe, blow us up. Y'all know what to do.
Thanks for stopping and spending some time with us today. Hit that notification bell and give us a share, because it does help the channel out.
Please and thank you.
and thanks for watching.
Hey, we'll see y'all on the next one.
Later, y'all.